Understand? You included.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. T-shirted historian. Wow, it has been there's been quite a lot of stuff happening since we talked last, huh? I'm not talking about Tuesday so much, but I mean, like, obviously we missed last week in Geek. Last Saturday, I had some stuff going on, but between now and then, man, stuff has kind of been piling up, and I mean, I got all these different things to cover. I mean, we got Stellar Blade to talk about. We've got After Ink to talk about. We got the WotC layoffs and the little switcheroo to talk about. We've got Nexus mods to talk about. We've got, well, I've got Fallout 76 to talk about. We've got the new Naked Gun movie to talk about. We've got Ironheart to talk about. We've got 28 Weeks Later to talk about. And on top of that, Grim dropped some news that was kind of cool too. So we got to talk about that too. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all of it today. I'm going to do my best to plow through it, and hopefully we don't get too sidetracked or too derailed. But if we don't get it all today, we're just going to have to do it on Tuesday. And speaking of Tuesday, I'm hoping that Tuesday morning we'll have Goat on again. She's not like a firmly committed guest host yet, but you know, I'm hoping to kind of sweet talk her into it, because I think she brings some really cool dynamics to the dialogue. And I don't want this to sound sexist, but it almost kind of, there's almost no way you could say it without being able to say it this way. But I really do like getting a woman's perspective on a lot of these things. I love it when we have a female present on our show, because for one, I've been really lucky with the caliber of all the women I've had on the show. They've all been very intelligent. They've all been very insightful, and they've always brought a lot of really good conversation to the table, and from angles that I hadn't considered it. So, I mean, I just chalk that up to having, you know, maybe different lifestyles, different perspectives, different outlooks and such. But, you know, we're not sexist on this show. We're not really racist on this show. We're not anything on this show. I mean, we're just kind of, we are what we are. And, you know, we might be different political ideologies all behind the scenes, but we try not to drag that onto the show. We try not to let that be a thing, because we know you don't want to see that stuff. Or do you? Is that really what you guys want to see? Do you guys want to just see us get into knockdown, drag out fights about politics and, you know, talk a bunch of crap about this, that, and the other, and have nothing positive to say? Because I mean, I can build a show on hate clicks if that's what we need. I'd rather not, though. I think there's lots of shows out there like that, and you know, I figure they will eventually burn themselves out, or they're going to discover that in the search for trying to keep farming hate content up, they eventually either have to start making things up, start getting things wrong, or just flat out, get tired of it. I would think it would be exhausting to find things to hate on all the time, because fact is, I want to love on stuff. It's easy to hate on stuff, and there's a lot of stuff out there to hate on, and definitely when I get upset about seeing something that's being done to a property I care about, I definitely want to speak up about it, and this is my way of doing it. This and X. Not so much X anymore, just because why? I feel like YouTube, I have a little bit better reach. I mean, yes, I have more people subscribe to me on X, but the fact of the matter is like I feel like I can reach more people on YouTube. That is, unless I'm being suppressed by the algorithm, and I may be. But you guys are watching now. There's 19 of you out there with eyeballs on the show, so why don't we get started on some stuff to talk about? And hopefully it won't be all negative today, because I got some fun things to talk about that aren't negative. But let's start off with, oh my God, Dash is here. Hi, Dash.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, dude. Man, I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, Levistro's taking our Dragoncast out for a hiatus, so I had some free time. How you been, man?
Oh, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Got a lot of games I've been playing. So we'll talk about some of those. And Mr. Grimm, who has got some news of his own.
It's hot. Grim.
It is hot.
Yep.
Mr. Caster.
Hello.
Hello. We got Das Wolfen.
Hello.
Hey, we got Mr. Hunter, the Ultra American TTRPGer, and we've got Daniel. Fighting in Dragons.
Here's Ultra.
And thank you, Magnificent Devil. It isn't sexist to acknowledge men and women are different and often complementary. Yeah, I agree. And they do bring some interesting things. Yes.
Yeah, they think
Not at all.
Wasn't I supposed to have entrance music this time?
Say what?
So wasn't I supposed to have entrance music this time?
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
No, you have to be special for that, and I don't even get that.
That's true. That's true.
I think this is the first time in a while we've actually been able to get everyone on here.
Oh, no, this isn't everyone. I've got like 29 people in my back room that,
Well, the
not in
usual
the back
cast
room.
that would be here, because I know Dash is usually late, Iron's always hit and miss. Grim is usually here, but he has his moments where he's not. He doesn't have to be here. So first time for me, at least, since everyone's kind of been on here of the usual cast.
All right, so kind of going down the list on things to talk about. I'll start you off with something positive. So I bought Stellar Blade, and man, it is fun. It's just about everything you want in a video game. It's got a little bit of platforming. It's got lots of action. It's got lots of fighting. It's got, upgrading. It's got all kinds of really neat special moves. It's got actually a pretty decent story. And it has, one of the nicest looking female protagonists I've ever seen in, years, I would say, especially with all her cute little outfits that she wears, and the fact that the designers decided to shoot a lot of the camera angles kind of low, where you can, get a nice look at her butt.
It's got both kinds of gameplay, tits and ass.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it does. But but seriously speaking, though, it's a really good game. It's really fun. The boss fights are a little bit Dark Souls-ish, which is great for me because I like that kind of thing. Fighting the regular enemies is usually still pretty challenging. Getting into a fight with enemies is never a case of, it's boring. I mean, yeah, you may take some of them out really, really quick, but more often than not, you get into a fight with even a regular opponent, and it becomes a little bit of a challenge to try to overcome them without taking any hits yourself. It also has a insanely good soundtrack. So, I mean, there's just nothing to dislike about this game, really, in my opinion.
So, more importantly, have you joined the 41% of the player base that seems to have been modding on PC?
I have not been modding it yet. I figure I want to play through the game first, vanilla. No mods, just to see how it is. No. I figure if I'm going to talk about it, if I'm going to review it, I should do it without throwing any mods on. Because that's just, because the average Joe out there isn't necessarily going to mod. I mean, yes, we do have a big modding community out there, and I've seen some of the Stellar Blade mods, and oh boy. But, yeah, it just kind of, I think it just behooves me to go ahead and play it vanilla to begin with. I mean, and hell, there's lots of games I still play vanilla, like Cyberpunk 2077. I don't mod that. I think the game's just perfect, just like it is. In fact, they've got a new patch dropping for it pretty soon that's supposed to add in some more good stuff. Even after they said, we're not going to support this game anymore. So, I'm excited. I'm happy. We got good things on the horizon.
Yeah, that generally is that opinion too. You should things should be played in kind of their original format before you're screwing around with them, because it's one of those things that kind of plays back into the old TTRPG scene. Is the common refrain of, oh, this game is trash, this game is garbage, so this doesn't work, and this is broken, and this is such a problem. And it's like, well, are you actually playing the game? Or, well, no, I do this, and this, and we house mod that, and I don't really pay attention to alignment because alignment's lame, so we just kind of hand wave that. And I'm like, so you take all these restrictions off everything, and functionally you mod your game, and then you bitch that it's broken. So, I mean, I'm always like, let's before we start screwing around with the recipe, maybe we should cook it a couple times first, and make sure that the reason it tastes like crap isn't our fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you go into a restaurant, if you order a steak or something, and then the first thing you do is just cover it with A1 sauce before even tasting it. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? I mean,
yeah,
seriously. Who does that?
Well, I mean, you might do that if you go to like a Logan's Roadhouse or something, but
no,
if you're going to a nice steakhouse, it's like that's an insult.
Well, I mean, it's not
the chef.
It's not even an insult. So, I mean, it's like, even a Logan's, I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's like, you at least taste the shit first before you go and start, trying to doctor it up. I mean, it's like if you were making something and you presented it to somebody, and then the first thing they do before they've even tried it is, they grabbed a big ass bottle of hot sauce and start pouring it all in there. You're going to like, well, geez, man. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, and don't complain about it if that's what you did right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with mods.
Was cover it, yeah.
So.
And I'm of the same opinion on mods. There's one game in my entire life that I modded right out of the gate, and that was Stray. And
I never even played that.
Yeah, I almost never.
I modded Stray specifically because there's a mod out there to change the main character of that game is a stray cat.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only person who really isn't like super mod crazy. Like the only mod like I remember like putting in was just a graphics update for Final Fantasy VIII, a game that I can't finish just because I've tried.
Well, I tried.
Mod it till it bleed camp.
Like, I'm okay with some cosmetic mods. Like I said, I modded Stray, but the mod I used for Stray was just to change the actual cat model into an internet cat. So,
well, I don't want to get into all the mods that there are for Stellar Blade because I've seen them floating around the net and I've seen pictures of them up on X, and most of them will get my show shut down if I show any screens of that. So I'm just gonna say, play the game, enjoy it, mod it if you want to, but it is a good game. It's a little pricey at the moment, but it's I really enjoyed it. Dash, have you tried it yet?
Stellar Blade? I played a little bit on my PS5.
What do you think of it?
I don't know. I have a hard time finishing like Souls-like games, but yeah, I think Eve is great. It reminds me so much of Nier, which they eventually did a collab with. You can tell that a lot of it was inspired by Nier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's got a neat story too, I think. And it's if you're perceptive and you pick up early on, you know, when you get to the central computer room and you read what happens and everything like that, you know, Eve doesn't get what happens, but if you're savvy, you catch on real fast and you're kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I think I did get that far where you got to the archive that's protected in that bunker, and it's like this giant ass server room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got there.
That pretty much that kind of is a big, huge plot spoiler right there. But
yeah, well, and it wasn't for me, but I'm sure there is some sort of twist involved. You know, I'll probably have to start fresh if I ever return to it. You know, I just get so many games. Like, you know, it's hard being a game streamer.
Oh, I 100% understand. I'm not even a game streamer. I just have too many games, and I've been enjoying all of them. I think I've played We Harvest Shadows, the demo, twice. I've been playing all these demos, trying to figure out, is this going to be good? Is this going to suck? Which footage can I use for Tuesdays and all this? But anyway, we do have somebody on the panel who deserves a little bit of a mention here. That's Mr. Grimm.
What I do?
What you do? You put out like a 200-page quick start.
100 page.
Was it 100?
That sounds
Look at that. Look at that. He's humble too. It's only 100 pages.
I said that sounds pretty oxymoronic to me. I mean,
well,
I'm just saying, it's like quick start and 100 page. Just kind of, it kind of seems more like if that's what is it, a quick start for third edition?
Well, it's A5 pages, not A4 or US letter. So there's that. Most of it is an adventure and sort of an introduction to the zine thing we're going to be doing for a year. And then you've got some quick start rules as well.
Beautiful.
It says 120 pages on here, my man.
And some pre-gens. Yeah, close enough.
Never understood when people put out quick start rules without like a sample adventure. I've always thought that's both lazy and counterproductive.
Yeah, this is a massive amount of stuff. For free.
It's a very weird adventure, though. I'm a bit worried we might lose people with it.
I had to. Yeah, that was going to be my big complaint. This and the pizza thing that runs all through it. I'm just kind of like, dude, this is getting tiresome. But
yeah,
so
but you're kind of meant to read it and then make it your own. Really, it's more of an adventure context.
Yeah, there are some tables.
Today's been a weird day because today is supposed to be free RPG day, and of course, downloads galore online. Like I literally found like several bundles on Drive-Thru and Itch.io, just various like independent RPGs that you can download. And then I decided, let me go up to my local game store. Nothing. They were planning nothing.
Same.
Well, I don't know. Well, I love the concept of free RPG day and all that kind of stuff. 9 times out of 10, they really ought to just rename it Should Be Free RPG Day. Because half the time it's like you would be irritated if this was not free.
You know, I think Caster is probably in danger of liking these two, but they need to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty as is.
Same.
I feel rather targeted all of a sudden.
I mean, you know, if there's a goblin in the room, you know.
Now, I don't care if this is or not, but I was wanting to know: is this AI generated art or is this like actual like artist made art?
So it's a mix. Some is entirely human, some is a mix of AI and human, and because it was kind of dumped in my lap last minute to finish it off, some of it is just pure AI.
And of course, Jim couldn't be asked to get his artist friend who worked on his last book to help him out with that or anything.
I'm wondering why it's not displaying properly on your thing.
Oh, because I've got it short.
No, there's like the bullet lists have got double dots and there's extra dots scattered around that shouldn't be there and aren't there in my PDF.
Sabo's asking where to get it.
Drive through RPG.
Or from post-mort.com. In this case, it's probably better to go and get it from drive-through because that will help up my profile and my spam list for marketing. The more people that get it there.
And this is my favorite NPC now. I actually want to play this character.
So the idea of the adventure is you get hired to deliver an extremely dangerous pizza to a luxury liner, which is trapped in a time loop. And the time loop may actually be caused by the pizza that you're delivering. So, but yeah, so it loops around and around and around, and your characters can carry over some information between the different loops. It's meant to be kind of weird, surreal, Mobius sort of weird fantasy.
Well, I like it, and for a freebie for your game, I think that's a heck of a nice freebie. I mean, that's like Jim Raggi-esque level freebies, because every time Lamentations drops a freebie for free game day, it's always like this super duper nice production.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where it's a generous would be one way to put it, but it's definitely putting forth the "this is why you should give me money regularly" vibe. And I mean, of course, I'm the person who has the least issue with AI art on the planet, and like I said, I think the aesthetics good. I think the blend of aesthetics is good from the art that I've seen here. Because normally I get a little bit irritated when I see like style shifts, like going from kind of a comic-y style to more of a gritty, realistic style, like with art style. I like cohesion, but I like the way this one's done, and I think the variety serves it, and especially if it's a free, what's essentially, because anything free is essentially an ad, and it does a good job of advertising what needs to be advertised. So.
Well, as always, like I'm always saying on the show, we support our friends on this show. So anytime one of our friends is doing a good product or anything like that and wants to get the word out, we're happy to support them, and that includes Grim. So,
not right for me.
What?
That's like I said, I don't see anything that I would in any way complain about. As a matter of fact, I don't see anything I would complain about paying for. So
there you go. So there you go, Hunter. There's something to add to your download list.
Oh, I already got that earlier this morning because I saw because I'm in the Goat server and she posted a link. So of course I was because y'all talk about that game so much, and I already got his what was that setting you made that was like that's got D&D and Morkborg, White Castle,
Whitechester.
Yes.
Because I already got that, and then I saw that's another game I've been wanting into because Machinations of the Space Princess. Y'all keep talking about. So that's one on my list to get to eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, thanks to that, somebody does need to go make kind of a tchotchke comedy, like weird, goofy horror game that is like White Castle. Because I now think small square burgers need to kind of like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or something.
Harold and Kumar, the White Castle hauntings.
Indeed. And hey, Yang, it's good to see you, bud.
Attack your gut is what they do. They
Thanks for having me.
Jump into your gut and try and destroy it.
All right. Well, Castor had a story that he wanted to bring up, and I think it's important because we need to hear about it, but I'm not really up on all of it, so I need Castor to kind of bring it out.
Right. Well, there was one prominent story that kind of kicked off this weekend that I thought we need to kind of take a look at and pay attention to. And what I am, of course, referring to is the current lawsuit situation involving Ethan Klein, H3H3, and his then recent video about Hassan Piker. So, to make a long story short, this is all ultimately about sort of this whole React Gate situation where people on Twitch, for example, would probably just straight up watch an entire video and give very little commentary at all. And the reason why I bring this all up is, well, ultimately because, well, the last time Ethan Klein had a lawsuit involving this, it did sort of fundamentally change some rulings around what we're allowed to do with reaction content. And, well, let's see, do I still have this posted here? Unfortunately, it is the thing is the guy did drop like a 20-minute video, so I don't know if T-shirt wants to go through all that entire thing or not, but
I do not.
Okay, well, yeah. Long story short, there's a whole slew of stuff going on around this, and it's a story I feel like we ought to be paying attention to because, well, I mean, we all benefit ultimately from the sort of reaction content from people's videos, the Kyle stuff we look at, and ultimately the question of how much is appropriate in order to look at.
Yeah, so basically, what I'm understanding about it is that people have been, basically taking other YouTubers' videos and just wholesale showing them off on their channels and reacting and commenting on what they say. It would be like, let's say, I took one of Grimm's videos that he posts, which he usually posts every day, and I started reacting to it, just playing the whole video through and then, maybe pausing every once in a while and talking about stuff that goes on in it or rebutting it or whatever. I mean, I'm sure Grimm probably wouldn't care. He'd probably enjoy the extra traffic from it, but there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of bigger channels out there that are kind of, being, well, kind of filched a little bit. I mean, like if I took an entire like Nerdrotic show and did that, I'm pretty sure Nerdrotic would not appreciate that.
I kind of dealt with that like last weekend because
Yes, you did.
I bought JJ's book and it's only 30 pages. I read it in less than an hour, and I was just kind of reading it, giving my comments and thoughts about it. Of course, I was more interested in the book. I was trying to like learn. So I probably didn't comment as much as I should have, probably make it be like actual fair use. And then the publisher actually reached out and they asked me, originally they didn't want me to take it down. They just asked me if I could like edit the video down. And I was like, no, that's going to be a headache of its own. And so I just said I would take it down. And even the freaking Bro SR guys stood for my defense, saying that they should have let me keep it up.
Well, the Bro SR guys aren't the ones who were making, who put the money forth to put it out and make money off of it. That's that's kind of the thing. It's like when you're the one who doesn't have a financial stake in it, you kind of really come from a different perspective. But and I've got some reaction videos on my channel too. And I think where the issue comes in is you have transformative work and you have commentary. Both of them are protected, but. And this was a huge problem on YouTube for a really long time, that quote unquote reaction videos were literally just somebody playing the video and making faces and being like, oh, damn, cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I agree with that. And that was literally it. Now YouTube, I think, fixed it the appropriate way. If you have a monetized channel and you do a reaction video, all the original content creator has to do is essentially click a button and your monetization becomes their monetization.
Yeah. Revenue sharing.
But at the same time, though, that did lead to its own string of abuse.
Yeah. But it's like anything. Anytime you try to come in and police this kind of thing, you are going to have a certain level of abuse because there's always going to be some kind of loophole to it. And we've come to a point where it's almost impossible to stop because, like, for instance, let's take Ultra's situation. By all intents and purposes, they could have just dragged his ass into IP court and nailed him to the floor
on some of that. Now I think they probably would have lost. I think there was enough commentary to meet that bar for it was a commentary exercise and transformative enough that you can't really do a copyright claim. But you're talking about a situation where every single time you do that, it's tens of thousands of dollars minimum just to get it in front of a judge. So there's got to be something done to stop the abuse. And unfortunately, it's going to catch a lot of people who are doing things in good faith in the splash.
So
okay, Caster has assured me that this isn't going to blow back on my channel if this guy's successful. So.
Right. So ultimately, the issue ultimately wasn't that they watched the video. That's not what he's doing. He doesn't want to stop that. It's that these people are intentionally trying to damage him, and because he owns the video, what they had done was effectively act as a market replacement for his content. They intentionally said you can watch it ethically through us instead, and in some cases they literally got up and walked out of the room.
Wow.
Which is deliberately violative. I mean, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, I don't really need to watch it then.
So in that case, let's look at the first 5 minutes.
Now, was this the video that got Smash JT in trouble? The one with the Australian government?
No, I don't think so. This just came out.
Hi there. My name is Ethan Klein, and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today,
Yeah.
My videos. But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
now understandably, this made a lot of people angry because why should these content thieves essentially get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening? I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this, and no, it's not right. This debate culminated when XQC, one of the prime suspects, called into my show to debate me, in which case I'm sad to report that I was terribly owned. So in that regard, do you care at all about IP or copyright? Or the fact that it's illegal, does that matter? That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out,
I still don't get why this guy is big.
I don't know either. Although I'll tell you one thing: if I restreamed a Grim Gym video and I got 100,000 subs and likes off of it, I think I'd buy the dude a cheeseburger.
At a minimum.
Burger.
So yeah, he's got to set the case here.
Watch me full screen cam, do the fucking worm, then watch your
Do
prime.
that.
Then watch
Bro,
your prime
do
content.
it for a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, okay, sure.
What?
I hate these people. I can't hate them any more than I already do.
I can't even watch it. I need a palate cleanser. I'm sorry. Hang on a minute. This is how I feel about it.
I'm gonna be a dad.
The fuck's it got to do with me? I don't give a fuck.
But no, I understand where Caster's coming from on that, because we do re-show Kyle clips. We do re-show bits from other YouTubers that we like, and the golden rule of YouTubing is if somebody else is clipping your stuff and showing it off on their channel, you don't copyright claim them. But
all I can say is stop making stupid people famous.
Yeah. This, on the other hand, is something entirely different because they're just pretty much totally stealing your entire video, re-showing it on their thing, and then saying, "No, watch it on my channel because it's more entertaining when I do it."
Well, and the ultimate issue of what was going on with it is the fact that these people, basically, this all falls down to the fact that this all is one bunch of Hassan Piker orbiters who decided to turn on Ethan over the Israel-Palestine stuff, because those guys originally had a podcast together. They were friends, and then that had a falling out. So everyone turned around and started attacking him, and now it was suddenly perfectly acceptable to pull the knives out and start, trying to destroy him.
Yeah, I'm a little I'm a little concerned because it's just like everybody is getting involved in the let's police the YouTubers and the streamers and all that. I mean, Texas just passed laws about what kind of anime you can and can't watch, and we've got this thing that's probably going to blow up at some point, and I don't know, man. I don't know if there's going to be a future in what we do.
Well, the thing is, right, streaming, YouTubers, Twitch, your platform of choice, whatever. All these things have effectively supplanted the news, that media control, the narrative control. And so you have a whole bunch of special interest groups that, like the way the system was working before, not instead of having 5 or 6 prominent outlets to look over, there's now a million individual voices out here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Whereas it's actually ultimately much easier if they just go for the streaming platforms themselves to try to dictate that stuff. That's where you get your adpocalypses. And like I said, ultimately, I want to put this on your guys' radars because this is a story that's going to be developing. And plus, this could have ramifications for all of us. So, guys, I guess the end result is make sure you watch the story, kind of see what's going on, because it could affect you.
It could.
I'll try and pay better attention to it. Thank you.
Well, also, I'm kind of paying attention to it all because at the end of the day, there's that rubbernecking desire to watch the
yes.
around over here.
Oh, it's a train wreck. Let's stop and take a look.
Wait, someone sent someone a human skull? Holy shit, tell me more.
Something go ahead.
I was just going to say, the problem with this whole thing is at the end of the day, this is sort of like a rich person's concern. So I totally agree that it's wrong when people are just reacting to a video in its entirety, or maybe they'll pause for 2 seconds or something. But it's only if you have enough money to complain about it that you can do something. Meanwhile, I did a review of one of the Star Wars animated series. It was 3 episodes, and I had about 60 seconds cut from each episode that was just looped continually. And they got me on a copyright strike, and even though clearly it was fair use, since I was reviewing the whole thing and I showed, 10-second clips cut up. But there's no way I could fight Disney. So when it comes down to it, this is mostly very wealthy YouTubers fighting other very wealthy YouTubers. When it comes to if, not that necessarily Ethan would do it, but if he were to take that from, let's say, some YouTuber who had 700 subs or something, the person with 700 subs has absolutely no recourse.
Well, the thing is, though, in his video, and I kind of wish we hadn't gotten into it, but Ethan does explain how he's saying he doesn't want to have to necessarily be the one doing this, but basically, thanks to the outright abuse on platforms like Twitch and this, where people just outright stream entire shows, Top Chef, Death Note, etc. Eventually, it's going to come to a case where some big prominent studio is going to make a big deal of it.
Yeah, and that is true.
It basically we have to the platforms and us streamers have to get this reined in before it becomes a problem where those higher up the chain, the big studios with infinitely more money than him, can ruin dozens of people's lives, hundreds of people's lives. And then it over for everyone.
It's like all the little clips that I use. They're cute and they're funny, but the thing is, it's no, just listen. They're cute and they're funny, but the thing is, it's I have to be sure about the length of them, and I have to be sure that they will pass YouTube's copyright restrictions, because I've had clips on before, and I mean the short funny ones, and they get claimed. So I have to drop them and stop using them.
But the difference, though, is that what you're doing is not the market replacement for the original material. What these streamers are doing is people like Denims, people like Beth Frost. Sorry, I can't remember their names. I get
that, Caster. I get that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the knock-on effect of stuff like this is going to trickle down to little things like this eventually, to the point where it's going to be like the same kind of bullshit that we had whenever people were going crazy with LimeWire and all that stuff, and downloading music all the time, and artists were suing, regular people for downloading their shit illegally. It's going to be the same kind of thing. It's going to be like, oh, well, you can't use, it's going to redefine what fair use is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I think the easiest way they could fix, and the problem is the easiest way to fix it, or the best way to fix it, is something that I don't see ever actually happening, unfortunately, which is what you've got is, and I'm going to speak from a U.S. perspective here. The Congress is never going to move fast enough or efficiently enough to correct this. But what they've really got to do is they have to come down and hammer out a legal and a distinct difference, like a clear definition of a publisher versus a platform. Because when you're policing content, when you have restrictions on content, especially when you have more case-by-case restrictions, you're acting as a publisher. And if you're a publisher, you're responsible for what's presented in your publication, so to speak. However, if you're a platform, then there are certain civil rights and other concerns that are in place, but you're not responsible entirely for what happens on your platform. So they need to have a thing where, like YouTube can come out and say, we will not platform, say, open pornography or illegal activity that promotes illegal behavior, et cetera, et cetera. But it has to be defined enough to where when somebody violates copyright, Disney can't go after YouTube and say, YouTube, you must take this down because you are violating our copyright by allowing it to exist. They have to have the ability to say, we're a platform and you can't come after us, so that they no longer capitulate, because then it becomes a game of whack-a-mole for Disney. And while you or I cannot compete against Disney, if Disney has to go in and individually police every single violation, they're going to become a lot more picky and a lot more reasonable about who they want to go after when it's 10,000 YouTubers that they have to go after every week. All of a sudden it's going to be, we're going to wait and we're going to get the guy who's like uploading the entirety of Mulan onto his YouTube channel, versus the guy who's actually doing fair use, because now it shifts the burden of cost. Right now, they just go to YouTube and they say, be an asshole about fair use and force the content creator to sue you over fair use, or we're going to put our lawyers on you as a platform. And it's all because the language and the way these laws are written is still outdated by hundreds of years. I mean, hell, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which was forced to come out because copyright hadn't been addressed in over 100 years at the time. It still was just a Band-Aid. And that was 2001, 2002. How much advancement has happened since then that's even worse?
All they wound up doing, though, is just they automated the system. Just auto detect.
Yeah.
So
it's lazy.
Not even.
It's lazy.
Yeah. It's not lazy. It's the path of least resistance. They're going to do whatever is the least labor intensive.
Well, I mean, how many times have I actually, put up a trailer or something, and even when we pause to talk about it to try to, avoid getting nailed by copyright, inevitably I end up getting nailed by copyright anyway and having to take it down, which is why I always give you the disclaimer ahead of time. It's like, if you're not watching this show live, there's a good chance you're going to be missing a chunk of the show, because, if I'm getting slammed with a copyright, I don't make enough money on YouTube to lawyer up and go fight any of these dudes. So I've got to, I just trim it out and go on about my day. And it's like, and I'm sorry to the people who are catching it on the flip side and not seeing it live, because you're missing out. But
I once scared Warner Brothers from letting go of a claim that for a video I had to delete anyway to get the partnership. But it was a Game of Thrones video with Giles.
Mm-hmm.
in it from House of the Dragon. I just took the Damien storming the beach scene and just had Giles' theme running through it. I also added some little sound effects like fatality. Yeah, it was a fun video.
Yeah,
it was a fun video. So I did do the risky thing of like, so I put a bunch of legal jargon in there, like, and like they basically just backed away.
Yeah, Bear DM has gotten claimed on many occasions, and he fights it every time, and he wins. So, sometimes it's just a case of just standing up to the man and saying, "Look, man, I'm not doing anything with your content that's shifty or unscrupulous or anything else. I mean, it's a freaking trailer, okay? If we can't show a trailer and discuss what's going on in the trailer and how we feel about it, then, why even make it public at all? Why allow anybody to see the trailer? Because, and a lot of times we usually have good things to say about the trailers, because I don't want to really show off trailers about stuff that I don't want to see.
Yeah, sure, but the difference is that's marketing material.
True.
That's not watching episode 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the big like corporate review companies and publishers, the big, like, let's just say like the New York Times or whatever, the large reviewing outlets, like for instance a Rotten Tomatoes or something, or the critics that back it and stuff, they're going to be one of the number one voices to stop small criticism, because they have the connections and the money to basically make sure their stuff doesn't get messed with. And if they can make it to where, if they can continue to allow a system to exist that makes it to where you can't show the trailers and you can't do the commentary, well, and they're the only outlet for reviews if anybody wants to see a review.
True.
It's like regulation. This happens with all regulation, and it's why regulation, the proper way to approach regulation is it should always be the absolute minimum necessary to prevent the worst abuses. Because when you regulate, what happens is you just create a ceiling. You raise a ceiling. Why you see massive corporations is like, well, shouldn't big corporations and big businesses be very laissez-faire? Well, no, because once you get to a certain size, those regulations no longer bother you. They're a nuisance to you. You give up a few cents profit, but they completely annihilate anybody who's trying to come up beneath you.
Yes.
So Walmart wants to have the big, everybody like, oh, well, Walmart doesn't want this. They don't want this minimum wage raise or whatever because of what it's going to do to their profits. It's like, no, Walmart really wants that, because that means that there will be nobody just below Walmart who can take any piece of their market share, because they
Indeed.
Walmart can take the haircut. Everybody below Walmart cannot.
True. Well, speaking of reaction videos, guys, why don't you get on board, because we got something to react to, and hopefully we can watch this and not get hit with a copyright claim. But if we do, and it's always likely that we will, I pity you poor folks who are not catching this live, because you would have been able to see this. But instead, whenever they do copyright claim me, I'm going to have to take it off, so you'll miss this part. But those of you guys who are live, I hope you enjoy this, and let's laugh along with it. Kind of palate cleanser from what we were seeing before.
This.
Okay, right away. Y'all know what this is, right?
Yeah, it's Naked Gun reboot.
Yes.
Well, sequel, but yes.
Yeah, it's basically, he's supposed to be like Frank Drebin's grandson or something. But I'm actually kind of excited about this, because here's something that's kind of a little known fact, is the fact, at one time, Leslie Nielsen himself was a serious actor. I mean, he was in Forbidden Planet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And and he was a serious hardcore actor. And it's just like after a while, he couldn't get any jobs, so he literally reinvented himself as a comedy actor, and he scored gold there at the end of his life.
He was actually a big stage actor, wasn't he?
I think so.
Airplane, the scary movies, like, you know, he's done everything.
Yeah, he did so many movies that were just great. And I don't remember him in any of his serious roles other than Forbidden Planet, but I remember all those damn comedy roles.
Well, I mean, then he and the funny thing is that he always he never really had to play a comedy role in his comedy roles either, because pretty much everything, he was always very much the straight man.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how this goes, because I'm actually excited about this.
Once you kill a man for revenge, there's no going back. A voice in your head saying over and over.
The fuck?
Oh my god. So stupid.
How can you not love it?
I don't know how to process this.
It's
He
called
ripped his arms off.
Oh, hey, on, Hunter. Have you ever seen the Naked Gun?
That was the other thing I was going to say. I've never seen any of the Naked Gun movies.
Oh,
that's why.
For airplanes, for that matter.
From A to fucking Z. He's crude, he's rude, and cannot grasp behaving in society. He is the faux pas king. Oh yeah, watch out, 'cause here it comes.
I love having him on the show.
Ruins everything. Oh yeah, Hunter ruins everything.
The problem is I can't be mad at that song because I just love it.
You shouldn't get mad at it because it was it's totally meant in the spirit of enjoyment and fun.
Exactly.
It's like when Ryan Roger keeps calling me gay on his show, like every fucking episode.
Well, anyway, let's see how much further we can go.
That was awesome.
Okay, that's funny.
God, I love Liam Neeson.
I'm sorry, I love that.
That just took me back to junior high where me and the guys would just nut tap each other for the hell of it.
Yeah. This is going to be a me and dad movie for sure.
This is, I don't know if I'll actually see this one in the theater, but I'm going to be sorely tempted to, I know. Because it just looks too damn funny.
Yeah,
I love the
Seth
originals.
MacFarlane is handling this sequel, right?
I don't know.
Well, I saw it. I think he is.
Oh, okay. It might be good then.
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
I mean, come on now. That's just too good.
That's classic.
Grim, how come you're not laughing, dude?
I am.
Okay.
He's mutant.
Police Squad has always been the elite of the elite.
Hi, Daddy. It's me.
This scene is, I've seen this part is good. So yeah, that's supposed to be his dad. All right.
Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
Oh, that was kind of sad because he was funny in that.
The one problem I have is there's a couple of jokes that we've done multiple times now. That joke was in the last trailer, so it's like I already know the punchline is in what I'm about to see. That one's kind of lost its humor for me.
Which one?
The O.J. Simpson.
Oh, the O.J. Simpson joke. Okay.
That and the fact that we did sort of like a pre-trailer the coffee bit, 20 seconds later, here it is again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I just pictured that last show being, oh, he didn't die. He just left the police station to go get the milk.
Oh.
Oh.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
Need a bathroom. I need this room immediately.
There's a line, man.
Police business.
I've often felt like that's what I needed to do sometimes. I mean, fortunately I don't consume bran muffins and then try to drive long distances or anything like that, but no, usually in my case it's I take a sip of anything and then it's 10 or 15 minutes later, it's like, gotta pee, gotta find a bath, gotta pee.
Apparently, Sabo doesn't know who Leslie Nielsen is.
Savo, you don't know who Leslie Nielsen is? Oh no!
Join Hunter.
I've seen that actor before. I just never watched the movie.
Ah, okay, yeah. So yes, it is Seth MacFarlane and Akiva Schaffer.
That makes
know
a
what else
strange
they've
amount
done.
of sense.
I don't know who that is, so.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
It's so simple. That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah, I mean that one is a good one.
Yeah, that is like airplane type of humor, which is
yes.
As soon as I saw her, the first thing that popped in my head was from 33 1/3 when the chick walks into his office and it like starts doing the long pan up her legs and she has like 4 sets of knees.
I still love it in the original Naked Gun where Priscilla Presley's climbing up that ladder, and then Frank Drebin is looking up her skirt, and he says, "Nice beaver," and then she steps down and she hands him a big stuffed beaver. Yeah, thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Wow.
I'm sorry, man. Those original. Police Squad and Naked Gun were like some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. But anyway,
I got two potential problems with this. Number one is so a lot of us on this panel are of a certain age where we grew up with these kind of movies. Will younger people actually have the attention span to get some of these jokes? Like, you actually have to be watching the screen, not like on your phone doing Instagram and other stuff at the same time.
That's true. I mean, it's like, okay, not show of hands, but how many people on this panel have actually seen Blazing Saddles?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have.
Heck yeah.
I own it.
Okay, so everybody has seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh my
Where the white women at?
Dash!
Look, one of my
Next time,
childhood memories.
look, when Netflix gets it back, I'll watch it.
You might want to go ahead and buy a Blu-ray while you can before it gets taken out.
I believe Tubi has it.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
Well, one of my childhood memories here, and my mom, it was always my mom's favorite part of it was we'd have all the like at the end of baseball season, we'd have all the kids over for all the guys over for a sleepover, and we would always watch Blazing Saddles, and we're talking like a group of like 8 and 10-year-old boys, and so my mom's favorite part was sitting in the back when the campfire scene came on and watching all because you're all a bunch of 8 and 10-year-old boys and there's adults nearby, and all of us are just sitting there trying desperately not to laugh because you're not supposed to laugh at the fart joke.
Okay, real quick,
waiting for the first 5-year-old boy or the first 8-year-old boy to crack during the campfire scene was like one of her favorite things.
Really quick here, I gotta respond to this. So I was made to watch Blazing Saddles by my dad and Young Frankenstein on the same night. That's because your dad loves you. Okay.
Yes.
Every parent who loves their child must make them watch Mel Brooks movies to understand what really good humor is. Although I really have my doubts about this new Spaceballs movie coming up, but we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, Rick Moranis is coming back, right? That's got to mean something.
Yeah, we get one Nick Moranis. I guess that's the trade-off for Josh Gad. I hope that's not true. I really hope he's not in it or writing it. But Nick Moranis is. I could handle Josh Gad for Nick Moranis.
Yeah.
Now, see, I wouldn't go watch this movie because they get gun. I would watch this movie because I like Liam Neeson as an actor, and I'd be waiting for the moment where he goes, "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but I have a particular set of skills."
I imagine they're going to riff on that at some point in this film.
They're going to have
because they have to.
Well, Seth MacFarlane loves making fun of Taken. You see, any of you see Liam Neeson's cameo in Ted 2?
Oh yes,
I didn't see Ted 2.
I've not seen Ted.
Where he's got the tricks box.
Oh yeah, no, he orders a bag of tricks. He's like, these tricks, they're supposed to be for kids, right? Yeah. I am not a child. No. If I buy these tricks, will I be followed? No. He takes it, and then at like the end credit scene in the movie, he comes back all beat up and puts the box of tricks back on the.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen Ted 1 or 2, and I really need to, but I did see the interview, and I fucking died laughing.
I love the interview. It was hilarious.
Was Liam Neeson in the interview?
No, it was James, what's his name, who's been canceled by Hollywood.
James Franco.
Yeah, and the other guy, Seth Rogen. Yeah.
And no, the best cameo was the Eminem interview.
The wrong one got canceled.
Does.
Eminem's getting on my show.
Exactly.
Well, let's see.
Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Was that Busta Rhymes?
Yes.
Must have been quite the joke.
That's fucking
For man's
Busta
laughter.
Rhymes. Jesus.
That's like that. That's like that joke where was it Norm Macdonald had had Sean Connery on his show, and he had therapist on the thing,
Rapist.
and he says, "I'll take the rapist for." Anyway,
that was Celebrity Jeopardy, is what that was.
Yeah. And Sean Connery was always making like the worst jokes and stuff. But,
oh, they're great.
Yeah, they were.
They're going to shut down police squad if you do not solve this case.
I
mean, was that Spirit Halloween?
Now,
yeah.
Roll it back.
You mean manslaughter?
It keeps getting choppy on my end, so I'm like catching bits and pieces.
They're going to shut down police squad.
That's because that is a current gag. Is every place that is closed down just ends up becoming a Spirit Halloween.
It's true.
It is absolutely the truth.
If you do not solve this case, do this by the book.
Show a little respect. Why? Who's going to arrest me? Other cops?
Yes.
Is she serious?
Is he serious?
No.
He's trying to shoot through his bulletproof windshield. Jeez. I'm sorry. I'm you guys. I have to pause a little bit here, so maybe we can possibly avoid the copyright claim. Possibly.
I think what makes it even funnier is Liam Neeson is usually known for being such a serious actor. So the fact that he still is holding on to that being seriousness in this comedy movie just makes it more funny to me.
But that's what Leslie Nielsen was doing too.
Yeah, frankly, it makes Liam Neeson the perfect actor to take on this role, because that was what Liam Neeson. That was what
Leslie Nielsen.
That's what Leslie Nielsen was really famous for. Was he was very dry, deadpan performance. When he would read lines, he's going to let the joke stand on its own. He's not going to have to try to really lean into it.
That's what's missing from a lot of comedy movies these days, period, whether it's slapstick or not, is that most comedy movies these days lack a straight man.
Yes,
true. I mean, not just because it's Hollywood and they won't hire anybody who has sex with women, but
I wish we had Shanatsky on this show to hear you say that.
Right. The problem is they're all trying to like be in on the joke with you. So exactly, you're right. They're missing the straight man.
Yeah. And funny.
Yeah. The other thing is, the reason why we don't get a lot of comedies is because like PC culture was like so big at some point that
show us your shirt, dude. Oh, okay. Never mind. Nah,
yeah.
carry
Anyway,
on.
What I was saying was like the PC culture was so intense that like people were just afraid to even do like regular comedies. People didn't know how to make comedies without like ripping on like someone's race or sexuality or making fun of women. Like so, like Hollywood was so deathly afraid of being offensive. All that was left was political comedy.
I remember.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, they did a lot of very bad things to comedy in Hollywood. But that aside, like I said, we need it
back. We need comedy back.
Right.
We We really do.
Like The Hangover. Like,
which,
God damn it, Hollywood, get back on cocaine.
Hold on.
Yes.
Now, was the Leslie actor from the previous St. Gunn movies, was that the one where whenever someone said, Shirley can't be serious, he would be like, yes, and don't call me Shirley? Was that him?
yes, that's an airplane joke. That's an airplane joke. That was him in Airplane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
if I ever put out a T-shirt for this show, and the only reason I haven't put out T-shirts or anything is because, honestly, from the looks of things, T-shirts don't sell that well for anybody. But if I were, that would be my thing. I'd have a big shirt with the logo on it. Would be like like Hollywood, get back on cocaine.
Yeah, I know my gas shirts are just like sitting there in Teespring, just rotting.
See, yeah, Grimm has like hundreds of really cool looking shirts, and I'm just kind of like, do you sell many of those, Grimm?
Teespring is like the worst place to do orders for anything right now because I've had to refund my orders twice because they never fulfill their stuff on time now.
That's because
I see that could be a reason why.
Yeah.
Just say I liked Hollywood better when it was on cocaine.
Yes, me too.
It seems Mr. Drebin might be more of a problem than we thought. I want you to keep an eye on him.
Wow. Austin Powers reference. That's finest.
No, it gets better though. It gets better when you see the other half of it though.
Yeah, it's just like Austin Powers too.
Yes, it is, but that's still funny.
It's still funny. I don't mind that the joke's similar. It's still funny.
Those first two Austin Power movies were great.
Well, the
You didn't like the third one?
You got somebody saying it's Austin Powers. It's Austin Powers. It's like, no, it's not. Austin Powers was this entire genre of comedies. It was riffing on this entire style of like slapstick visual humor. I mean, Austin Powers was just ripping off Steve Martin and Leslie Nielsen and everything Mel Brooks.
Okay, Daniel. Okay, who they were all ripping off, right? Was the Three Stooges.
That too. So. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Y'all quit pretending somebody was original.
By the way,
was ripping off Buster Keaton.
Yeah, who was ripping off Buster Keaton? But I own every single Three Stooges anything ever made, right? I do. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I love the Three Stooges. And yes, I love Shemp.
Yeah, the Stooges are hilarious. I even got the movie they did.
Yep.
Which one?
This oven is disgusting.
Rest assured, I won't stop until I've found justice.
What do you want, little one?
Here we go. The tiny shoulders kind of sell it, but I mean, yeah, you could tell it's kind of badly CG'd.
It doesn't matter.
It's still funny.
Your ass.
I mean, let's just take a moment to admire how funny this is, just without actually
with no context.
Yeah, I mean, oh, jeez. I want this movie to be good. Please give us a good movie, please. That's all I ask.
Well, with Seth MacFarlane, it's either going to be really funny or it's just going to be forgettable and suck.
Well, the good thing about when Seth MacFarlane directs something is if there is something woke mentioned in it, he's making fun of it like 75% of the time instead of like incorporating it in. So I know at least with Seth MacFarlane, no matter which side he pokes fun at, he's poking fun.
Well,
yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, Seth has
Seth's a liberal, like that's true, but he also like his humor, his style of humor is like everything the woke hate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a product of their leftovers. It was one of the things they did to ruin comedy. Comedy's all about transgression in most cases. It's just where that is, and they made everything taboo except for a very small number of things. So what you ended up with was, well, we can't be transgressive against minority groups or perceived minority groups or people who work with minority groups or anything of that nature, but we can make fun of
this very small select group, let's just
rednecks.
We can make fun of Christians. We can make fun of Christians. So let's just be as aggressively transgressive as possible, because we've run out of ways to be mildly and passively inoffensively transgressive. Long time ago, it's become passe, so they just went over. And that's kind of where Seth MacFarlane is. He has always been a guy whose comedy is intentionally over the line, but he is really good at being just enough over the line that he can get away with it. And because he doesn't, because he's not afraid to be just over the line with everybody, you kind of forgive him for being.
That was kind of like how,
because of what he did because he turns around and makes fun of Obama the next sentence over.
Well, that's kind of like how comedy used to be in the South Park and Family Guy and Drawn Together era, is that they just made fun of everyone, and therefore it was all right because, for every black joke or gay joke, like they were making fun of fucking white people too. So
so that's kind of what we need to get back to. But, anyway,
don't forget though, Seth MacFarlane came out and apologized for having made gay jokes in the past and basically vowed to not do that anymore with Family Guy.
Well, or was that in and of itself a joke though?
I kind of think so.
This was something that got reported on.
Oh, like off camera, like
as in that was headlines.
Ooh.
Oh damn, he cucked.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Nobody messes with the police squad.
If that other scene wasn't great. Yeah. I mean.
What the fuck is this then? Like, if he said, "Oh yeah, we're sorry, but we're gonna have Liam Neeson dress up like a little girl with his knickers."
Do we have to pause here?
Yes, we did.
Just to see that expression. Yes, Magnificent Devil. Once you apologize, they own you. That is true.
Yeah, which is why he shouldn't have done it. He should have owned Family Guy. He should have owned what it was.
Yeah, that's why I will own up if I do something wrong, but I will never apologize for it, though, because I know as soon as I apologize, that means apparently everyone's going to be all over me after that.
They'll control you. They'll control your show, and like no one talks about new Family Guy. It's all old Family Guy anyone ever talks about.
Because cable viewership is down. There's not as many people watching it.
True.
We've upgraded your car with the most advanced crime-fighting tech.
Drive forward 30 feet. Very smooth.
Oh.
This place
Why was it outside of a prison?
Because it was funny.
Yes.
You missed the here.
I've got problems with the trailer.
So there we go. So what do you think, guys? We're going to watch that one or?
Totally.
I would watch it.
Definitely.
Grim?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sold mostly because of Liam Neeson. I used to wonder who could possibly take over from Leslie Nielsen, but yeah, he's a good choice.
Awesome. Yang, what do you think?
Oh, heck yeah.
There you go. Doss?
I'm not sure I'll go to the theater to see it, but I'll definitely watch it when it comes on streaming.
And that's fair. That's fair. A lot of people will still do that. All right. So yeah, I told you we'd have some fun stuff.
I've got some problems with it.
Uh-oh.
So having seen Police Squad, having seen Naked Gun, part of the joke was that they were very serious about it. You didn't have someone in the background like, oh, every time, the joke is being played out, it's taken serious. We're just not going to address it. This is just the way things are, which is not what we got here.
Well,
it's funnier when you don't necessarily have the people reacting to it.
That's fair.
As normal.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. I think part of the reason that may have been done though is because you have a generation of ADHD riddled people who will be looking at their phones every couple of seconds and may miss the plot. So they may actually need that visual cue to tell them this is the part where you laugh.
Yeah, that's what I say, that you got all these people. It's like they have to be pointed out. It's like, hey, the joke is here. All right, you think about it so you can laugh.
Now,
will they though? Because all of these movies, Airplane, Top Secret, Police Squad, it's a joke every 5 to 10 seconds.
Yep.
So won't it already, be keeping people's attention because it's constant?
True.
And I mean, there are jokes in here that absolutely would have been perfect in the other in those shows. Like take a chair. That perfect. Yes.
Yeah, that was just funny.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with like the stabbing someone with the lollipop. I don't quite know about that one as well.
Well, actually, the funny thing is he didn't actually stab anybody with it. He threw it at the guy, and the lollipop end ended up in his mouth, not the sticky point.
What are you talking about? He didn't have the sharpened point of the lollipop to stab someone?
I didn't.
No. That's more of a Chucky thing.
Yeah.
No, Iron's right, because in that first scene when he stands up from the little girl form, he literally stabs the first guy he's talking to with the lollipop and then chucks it at another guy, putting it in his mouth.
Oh.
So Iron is right.
Okay.
Which again, that to me, that's like a Taken reference to me, because that's definitely something that he would have done in the Taken movie.
Well, I mean, that said, I am probably still going to go see this, but I am annoyed a little bit because this. If you want to do it right.
Well, I don't even know that there's anybody in Hollywood anymore who knows how to do it right or is allowed to do it right, I should say.
Well, half the problem is that all the Hollyweird types, in particular the people in the writer's room, just assume that everybody else in the universe is a complete and total fucking moron and needs all this stuff. Like, it's like the fastest way you can kill a joke is to spell the damn thing out for them.
Uh-huh.
And they think that all of us are so retarded that we have to have it spelled out for us.
And in this case, the spelling it out is going to be having to specifically have a guy there who's going to be the audience stand-in too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Stand in. I'm standing right here watching the damn movie.
Well, we get the jokes and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like I said, if I was 30 years younger and, maybe a little less socially, what's the word? Socially, no. Yes. Then, I might need those visual cues to tell me, hey, you're supposed to, but I don't know. I hope people watch it. I hope people enjoy it. And I hope it succeeds. And I hope it's good. Because if it's good and it succeeds, they'll make more of them.
Yeah, it definitely just feels like it's going back to that early 2000s comedy movie that I used to
watch. Exactly.
And
even like the Hangover type of thing, like this things we lost.
But it's good though.
Yeah.
Right? We want those back.
Good. We do want those back. That'll be a sure sign that wokeness is nearing its course.
Yeah,
and that's part of why I do want to go see this, because I want to try to get them the message that I do want to see more comedies. I want more films like this, because it's so tragic that all those had to be sacrificed. I mean, both with the Me Too movement, but also because Marvel movies were in vogue, and we couldn't just spend $50 million to make a little comedy movie when we have to turn around and try to make a movie that everyone can watch, which means there's no audience.
And speaking of Marvel movies,
no faith on Fantastic
Four. No, T-shirt. Don't you make me watch that.
I won't make you watch
Ironheart.
I was going to talk about Ironheart.
Wow. Yeah.
I was gonna try to be
gays.
I was gonna try to be brief about it. Just hear me out, because I haven't watched the show, and I've mostly been listening to other people's reviews on it, and wow. I mean, but just looking at the show and then hearing what the summary of it was and everything, and I'm just kind of like, first off, it's by Ryan Coogler, right? This is the same guy who did the Robin Hood show a few years back that was basically black people stealing stuff from white people.
Oh, so relooted the show.
So
yeah, kind of.
Downtown Chicago?
I mean... But this is the thing. This is the same Ryan Coogler who came out on stage and was talking about, portraying black people in a certain way as to, have negative connotations and certain associations with them and all that. And then he comes out with Ironheart. And the first thing that happens in Ironheart is she joins a group of thieves, hackers, and scumbags and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, so Ironheart is the bad guy because she's joined the bad guys.
Thing is, this is coming off his big success with Sinners, though.
Is it a success? I didn't watch that crap. Did you?
Yeah, I saw it.
I did.
Did you? Okay.
Sinners did do pretty well at the box office.
Well, tell me something about it, because I know nothing about it other than it's got Michael B. Jordan. It's about vampires and black people, and I thought, this is a movie.
It's basically just Dusk Till Dawn with.
Yeah. It's a prequel for Dusk Till Dawn. That's basically what it is.
Okay. So worth watching?
Yeah, don't go theater to see it, but
no,
it's definitely worth checking out on streaming.
I think it's on streaming already.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Okay, well,
It's kind of a slow burn, but
the latest Final Destination movies is on streaming now, so I figure.
Wow.
Sinners
watch that. That was fun.
Yeah, I love the Final Destination movies. I mean, I saw the scene where she got kind of her head squashed in the garbage dump thing.
Oh yeah, that was great. That's not even the best kill though.
So
you got to watch it for Tony Todd's goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that made me sad.
Who still
Sinners
avoids
managed
driving?
to have a budget of about $100 million, and it's managed to rake in about 360. So it's become a profitable movie.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So because of Final Destination, who still doesn't drive behind logging trucks to this day because of that?
I live down in Texas. We don't have logging trucks because we don't have trees.
Dude, if I didn't drive behind logging trucks, my ass would be sitting at the turn onto Highway 11 from my office for like 6 hours every day. Waikiki lumber is like a block from my office.
Let me tell you what we have for woods around here. We have mesquites. Have you seen mesquites? They call it a tree.
In Texas, they have glorified bushes.
Yeah, that's all a mesquite is. It's all twisted. It's just a giant ass bush with hard bark and.
See, you sort of get desensitized to it after a while up here because, unlike you folks who live in a desert, I'm like, you keep your heat because I hate this. You actually kind of get used to it up here.
Okay. Esoteric Order of Nerdity speaks truth to power here. Yes. Yeah, they aren't doing too hot because and theater tickets cost so much money now. It's like unless the show is a guaranteed slam bang, it's like who wants to waste $20 or more to go see something that's crap.
I don't go see anything except for, and really I don't watch these anymore either because they've just become crap. But for a long time, I was like, the only thing I'm going to go see in the theater is going to be something like a big budget action movie or like Lord of the Rings or something. If it's not something where having a 90-foot screen is going to enhance my viewing, or, it's got some kind of fantastic, visual element to it that is a big part of me enjoying the actual film, then I'm not going to waste the money to go to the theater on it.
There was a time when my friends and I would actually make the drive to Dallas, and this is a pretty long trip.
That was
in Dallas, but yeah, we'd make trips to Dallas. We'd day trip to Dallas, and we'd go there because we wanted to go sit in the theater in the IMAX they've got over there because the IMAX was just we didn't have one in our area. And we would go see these huge movies on IMAX. I mean, I saw John Carter on IMAX. I saw Pacific Rim on IMAX. I saw several Marvel movies on IMAX. And those were like insane. But I mean, that's the thing is we would make those pilgrimages to go see these things on IMAX because we believed that the theater experience at that time was worth it.
Now, movies it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like now I feel sorry for the poor bastard who went to an IMAX to see the Eternals. Can you imagine?
Well, it seems like nobody did.
The home theater system has just gotten to be so good. Like our ability to watch movies at home has increased so dramatically that it is comparable. I mean, the only reason you go is for, at this point, the audience experience.
True.
I just like getting out of the
90s.
house. I just like going to the movies, like having some popcorn, and then like going into a nice air conditioned room and just watch a movie. I really like that experience. The movie theater by me closed down, so like I no longer have one in walking distance, and AMC charges way too much for their tickets, so it's been rough. It's been rough.
For me, it's that the experience of going to the cinema is just not good anymore. So if it's a shit film, why would I pay all that money and make the drive and sit in a theater to be constantly interrupted and pelted with popcorn by kids who are out of control? You know, and if I do like the film, right, I want to be able to watch the film without interruption. So I'll stay at home and rent it because I don't want to put up with that shit.
Oh, seeing Five Nights at Freddy's was pretty much a nightmare with all the fucking kids.
I bet.
Like in regards to the chicken jockey thing, if I wanted to go see Food Get Thrown Around, I'd travel back in time and go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show showing.
Oh, you can still go see those though. They have special showings, and you can do all the fun stuff.
Well, I mean, I just look at it as like, first off, you know, when you were talking about, you know, the popcorn and the air conditioned space and all that stuff, all I could hear is my mom in the back of my head coming back from beyond the grave and saying, "We got air conditioning and popcorn at the house." Orville Redenbach is right over there.
That's always true too.
Not the same.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, I mean, you know, one thing that has totally wrecked theaters for me in a way.
What's that?
Somewhere along the lines, all these idiots, and by idiots, I'm talking about these people that are Hunter's age. All these people forgot that the people that are on the film on the big screen cannot hear you. So there is no point in a whole bunch of clapping and cheering and shit interrupting me being able to hear the next scene that I paid, you know, $19 freaking to sit down and watch. And that's only $19 because I went to the gas station beforehand, wore a, you know, starter coat into the theater in the middle of July so that I didn't have to pay $90 for some freaking popcorn, take out a second mortgage. But I can't hear the next damn line because y'all are busy clapping and cheering for people who aren't anywhere nearby.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Magnificent Devil. I remember whenever they always used to put up the no cell phones in the theater, and it's like my cousin invited me to go see Terminator Genesis, which
God, I'm so sorry.
I know that film was shit anyway. But the thing is, more so than how bad the film was, I remember being distracted because some guy a couple of rows up had his damn phone out and the light was on the entire time. So I'm just kind of like, why did you even come to see this? But let's have some fun here, shall we? A little bit of fun.
Genesis is probably is like one of the worst Terminator movies of the bunch, and I never even saw Dark Fate. But I bet you,
Dark Fate is by far worse.
It's way off. Like Terminator.
It's way worse.
Yeah, I know how. I've heard the spoilers. I know it was just TDS on steroids, but Genesis is still really fucking bad.
Genesis is still really bad, but it's more watchable than Dark Fate. But anyway,
it's just a bad movie.
I know how you feel about it, Wolverine, but
you honestly think I can't fucking drive?
I saw this earlier.
You know it takes me like at least a 6-pack to catch a fucking buzz.
Wolverine!
We're going to the fucking liquor store, so give me the keys right fucking now.
That's funny.
I have a friend who lives up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I sent that to him, and he was like, "Yeah, we all talk like that up there." But here's this other one that I guarantee you we will make Grim laugh. So everybody listen to Grim really closely, because this one, I'm betting I'm going to get a laugh out of Grim. Here we go.
You never told us we'd be fighting humans. More like angry demons with skin. Everything was quiet. Then we heard one whisper, peekaboo, before jumping out of a bush and mowing down 17 of our guys. They wrote, "Send more in the blood of our fallen on our own dropship." One screamed, "This is Sparta!" and kicked our general off a cliff. Are you crazy? I'm not going back. One of them bit me through armor. I have tetanus now. One kept throwing our energy grenades back at us with a pickleball racket. They brought a goose, just a regular, angry goose, and let it loose. We surrendered. They left a note that said, "Be right back." When we picked it up, hish, it exploded. I tried playing dead. One yelled, "Unzip its pants." I've never ran faster in my entire life.
Oh, man.
I mean, that last one went wrong. We would fuck the aliens.
Probably, yeah. An angry goose is no joke. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with one. I'd like.
You don't want to fuck with them.
I've seen more people run away from angry geese than anything because it's like they know.
They're more like cobra chickens, I refer to them, because at my work, there's a bunch of them that will just rest up in all the grass areas, and sometimes they'll build their nests like right on those little concrete spacers between the parking spots. And like if you park next to when you got out, it would just start hissing at you like a snake, like and everything. So you're like, yeah, like that. So like that entire parking spot for like the next 2 months would be left empty away from the goose.
Angry goose right up there with pissed raccoon. Yeah. No, I haven't seen too many geese down here where I'm at, but I've definitely seen plenty of raccoons. Yeah, you don't mess with them.
I think geese or swans must have inspired the feathered serpent myth.
I think so. I mean, that they were down in Mexico and there was a geese there that was like destroying people, and they said, we need something a little bit more cool though.
What you got to remember is the goose is all bluff and buster. Ain't nothing to it. It's like, just sit your hollow boned ass down before I get mad at you. Make some buffalo sauce. Raccoon, on the other hand, you don't mess with a damn raccoon.
No.
I've literally seen a raccoon jump on a boar's face.
Raccoons have opposable thumbs, and they know how to use them because they will open doors, cabinets, and unlock. And they're smart because they watch you.
Wait until they learn how to shoot firearms.
Afraid of.
Yep.
Well, Marvel, one does.
Oh yeah, Rocket
all right.
Raccoon.
All right, guys. There was still a lot of topics we didn't get to cover today, but there's always Tuesday for those. So Ironcaster, we got plenty of stuff for Tuesday. If assuming more stuff doesn't happen between now and then, but shall we go ahead and
say that like summer isn't just kicking off?
Oh, I know.
Be careful what you wish for.
Indeed. But
sure
let's
hire somebody.
Yeah. Or they'll hire somebody. Anyway.
That would be a bigger shock.
It would be. Hey, thanks, Thoth. Thank you very much. Magnificent. I bet you did have a pet raccoon. I have a friend who had a pet raccoon, and he used to tease it by giving it cotton candy because raccoons wash everything before they eat it.
I've seen that. I got a has a pet pet skunk. Got the stinker removed.
Yes. Anyway, shall we exit for today?
Yes.
All right. Y'all take care. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. Grim, are you running tomorrow?
I should be.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see us on Grim's channel tomorrow. And then don't forget Tuesday with Geeks on Tuesday. And, of course, Tuesday morning, Dungeons and Discussions. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know who we're going to have on. But we'll think of something between now and then. I kind of like it that way.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.